Yo, 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 this is DPS Podcast. This is Damage Per Second Podcast, episode 261. And we are back on a fine Thursday night, feeling extra all right. And we are here. I am one of your hosts, SloMoBackSlap, with the other host, Gaming Forte, with a special guest. He really ain't a guest. Like, this dude basically, he live here. You know, he just come over and, you know, crash on the couch whenever he feel like it. He got a key. You know, he stock groceries every now and then in the fridge. You know who it is. It's Ramon Terrell. What's up, Ramon? How's it going, man?
Yo, thanks for having me. Much appreciated. Everything is going great. This day started out good, and it ended up fantastic. So I'm riding pretty high right now.
Excellent. Forte, how you feeling, man?
I'm good. I was working all day today, so that's always fun. But good, especially Ramon being here. Definitely makes it all the better. I get to hang out with two of my favorite people in this community, and looking forward to the conversation. So yeah, that's good day though. Good day so far.
So far, the day's over. If it ain't,
my day ain't over. Day ain't over till midnight.
To midnight.
Anything can happen.
I mean,
up until that. Yeah, sure, anything can happen.
I didn't know you be partying like that, Forte.
No, what you mean partying? Dude, we still got this podcast. This podcast still takes place on a Thursday. SloMo could do something to piss me off to make this whole show, make this whole day suck.
Oh, I mean, that's a given. That's going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So as of right now, as of 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, today was a good day. Now at 11:30, when this show's close to being over, I don't know anymore. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it might end after 11:30. We don't know since we starting 30 minutes late, but it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna get into what we've been playing, and Ramon, you're our guest here. Let us know what you've been playing first, man. What you been up to?
Well, in between wrestling with Crash, Microsoft, and Xbox trying to get Forza Horizon 5 to run, I've also started and I'm almost done with Reloaded. Reloaded is an awesome game for those who don't know what it is. Basically a heist/parkour game where these people from South Africa are dealing back African artifacts. In some cases, some of them aren't African, but these artifacts that were quote unquote borrowed, you know the story, borrowed from, stolen from Africa, from different parts of Europe. Yeah, stolen, exactly. Looted from,
put in a museum and pretended like it was donated. Sure, yeah.
Exactly, and then they're using a legal loophole.
We know the grift. We know.
We know the ancient grift, and So yeah, you actually learn the history of these artifacts because they're real life artifacts. So you learn a little bit of history, and the game is fun. The parkour is really cool. You have to map out each location and decide if you're going to go for everything there. And you have to plot how basically, once you steal that first artifact and the alarms go off and the doors start shutting down, you got to make a run for it. So you got to plan out, everything lined up, so that way you can grab one thing, and as you're running, the next one is in line for your escape path, and then the next one is in line for your escape path. So it's really cool. You spend time just planning it out and everything, and then you have, a team that you're working with. It's a lot of fun. The acting is good. The music I enjoy. It's, the visuals for an indie game of that type, really good. Very big recommend.
Nice.
And also,
is this the game that's this what's the guy's name? He made the he's like a solo developer, and he made another game that was
Aerial
like a
Knight?
side scroller. Yeah, Aerial Knights. Is this his game, or is this not?
No, that's
game?
not his.
Okay.
That's not his game. No, this is the team of people. I would love to see him work with them because I think they have a similar style in common. Because the Aerial Knights Never Yield and Aerial Knights We Never Yield are parkour games, all somewhat parkour games as well. similar style. Just his games are a little bit more basic because he's a solo dev and not much budget, right? So he's limited on the tools he has. And actually, since you mentioned him, he has a game called Aerial Knight's Drop Shot that's dropping on
That's what I
February
was thinking
17th.
about. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking about.
so-
That's like, so when you said I couldn't, I guess I got them confused. I'm glad I can say that there are multiple games from Black developers that are coming out that you could say, oh, is that this game? Oh no, that's a different game. So that you can, there's options out here instead of it just being once in a blue moon a game shows up and you got a bunch of unwashed heathens that like take every time. Yeah, every time they see a Black protagonist, they lose their mind, like as if it's an affront to their precious sensibilities. Like it's main character syndrome. Like where they can be the main character of anything. So
dude,
we don't.
The Steam forums are so bad with that. This one dude was complaining about the Africans thinking they're better than, blah, blah, blah. Literally the first cutscene, 30 seconds into the game, debunked everything that person said. So it's like they're complaining about the game, they haven't played it. They don't know anything about it.
Of course, they never do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to waste any more time on those fools because we already know why they're out there and their insecurities. But they're
video game tourists. Awesome. They don't play games.
Exactly.
They just complain about them. So there's no need to continue on about. But look, I added that game to my cart. I'm going to pick that up because as you were discussing it, I checked on Steam and saw the way it looks, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can rock with this. So I'm definitely going to pick that one up. Thanks you for mentioning that because I think you sent me a message about it a few days ago, and I didn't get a chance to respond back. But it was like, I was like, Retooled, that sounds familiar, and then now seeing it for myself, like this is dope. I can rock with this.
It's dope. It's dope.
Is that in dealing with Microsoft Cloud Sync issues? That's all you've been doing over the past week or so?
That and wishing I could fly to wherever that freaking navy bean shaped head Satya Nadella is and slap him upside the head over Windows and Xbox and everything.
Satya.
Like I would really like, dude, I would like to take a piece of underwear and just wet it and then just slap him in the face with it.
Man, you sound like you've done that to someone before.
Such violence.
No, but he brings out the creativity. He brings out the creativity in me.
Such violence.
Oh man, dude. You know how excited I've been. Fable, Forza Horizon 6. I mean, I gushed on it while everybody else was like, dude, what's this dude's problem? On Brap 2 weeks ago. So you know how excited I am for these games. So it speaks a lot to how mad I am that basically Xbox, they have more or less said, well, Forza Horizon 6 is coming out, so why are you playing 5 anyway? Like, you can tell that they just don't really seem to care much. So, we're going
to talk a lot about devs not caring about things. I got some words for a few developers in regards to that when I get my turn. My bad. Go ahead, continue, man.
This is
that's it. I ain't gonna take up any more time. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot to cover.
Cool. I want you to get it off your chest. I need to hear all this.
That was pretty much it. My last thing is I've been excited for some Xbox games, but now I'm not even sure. I'm second guessing if I'm going to buy Fable. I'm second guessing if I'm going to buy Forza Horizon 6.
Why would you buy those
games badly, dude. But like, how can I trust them? Forza Horizon.
Maybe he wants to own the license for it because no one owns anything.
Do you really own a license to anything?
Yeah, you get a license. You don't own the game.
You don't own the license either.
Well, I mean, you have the ability to play the game
until they decide to tell you can't play it no more. You tell me how that's any different than not owning it. Send a TOS, man.
I would say you don't have to pay monthly for that.
Yeah, but you only can play it. What? You could get all that out of your system in 1 month and be done with it.
Yo, I'll tell you this.
Maybe some people play longer than that. I mean, this man's still playing Forza Horizon 5.
I have
yeah.
Forza
That
Horizon
came
4
out
too.
how many years ago?
I
About like
still-
what,
I
3-4 years
part
ago?
4 too.
I own it. I own it.
See, it's good to
Interesting.
own things.
Yeah.
Forte, what have you been playing for over the past week?
Animal Crossing. Getting ready for Pokepedia.
Oh, you getting ready for a what?
Pokepedia.
What the heck is that?
Pokemon what is it? Potokio? Potoki? Something. Pokemon. I've been playing Animal Crossing, getting ready for Pokepedia to come out, which is going to be awesome. It is awesome. Shout out to
That just sounds hilarious.
It is. It's so great. I was watching. I was looking at videos because a lot of the reviews and impressions came out, and Skill Up did a video on it, and I was shocked, and I was like, listening to it.
I
I was
am
like,
also shocked.
when he was playing,
So
he
is
was
he.
like, I was like, yo, I can't stand Animal Crossing. I can't stand playing 30 minutes of it. The systems suck. The UI sucks. Everything about it is boring. And he said he played Pokepedia and was thinking it was going to be the same thing. But guess what? It's Pokemon. So, I'll try it out. I like Pokemon. And this man said, good God, this is great. And I was like, ooh, I'm about to lose my time.
Is that the game that's like Pokemon, but it's not officially Pokemon, and Nintendo's probably going to sue them at some point?
That's literally it's Pokemon. It's Animal Crossing with basically a Pokemon twist on it, and a whole lot better. So it's one of those cozy games and stuff. So the things that made the pandemic bearable by a lot of people that had Nintendo Switches at the time when it happened. So I've been playing that. Well, not playing that. I've been playing Animal Crossing, getting ready to go. Because my whole store is playing Animal Crossing at this moment. I had over 800 hours in it, and then a couple of people went back to the game because the Switch 2 version came out with all the updates and everything. So I was like, they was like, yeah, come on, we're gonna jump in and play on each other's islands and stuff. I was like, oh man, I was looking at these islands and I'm like, man, my island looked better than this. So I had to show off on people. I was like, man, let me show you what an island looked like.
On them?
I had to, bro. I was like, listen, I said, they just, how long it take you to build this? I said, well, listen.
Showed up in a fur coat with shoulder pads.
Listen, I had people saying, it was like, what's up with this? They said, man, how long it take you to build this island? I said, well, listen, when GameStop had us essential working in the stores, doing ship from stores and doing transactions at the door and nobody was really there, your boy was just playing Animal Crossing for long shifts. So that's kind of how this happened, but yeah, we've been doing that. Jumped on a little battlefield.
Forte. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You can make your own animal, right? You can customize them.
Your own character, but you customize your character. So, do you know what a Ditto is?
No.
In Pokemon,
I know what Ditto is because I watched the movie.
Okay, so Ditto is a Pokemon that can mimic and recreate itself in the image of any Pokemon in the world. So this game, and I didn't know this until I just was excited to play because I like Pokemon and I like Animal Crossing type games. But when I was watching Skilla's video, he kind of explained exactly what it was. And, supposedly the humans have been long gone and the Pokemon have been basically living their good life without any human interactives. So the Dittos have come back.
Good for the Pokemon. They don't have to deal with being slavery, snatched up. Yeah, slavery. Don't nobody want to call it what it is, but I call it what it is. It's slavery.
Dog fighting is slavery.
Yeah. They ain't being forced to fight. They can do whatever they want to do, live their good life. But the Ditto was trying to for the yearning of human interaction. The Ditto has been trying to recreate the human. The Dittos are trying to recreate humans, but the Dittos. Human interaction. They are trying to get interaction back with the humans, and the Dittos are doing it. And the character creator looks terrible because Dittos do not know how to make a human character look good. So that was the excuse for these characters not to look all that great, but it's still fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that when it comes out. That took way too much time with this podcast to talk about Pokemon, but
yeah, I know I'm dying over here. But
outside of that, but outside of that, Battlefield's great. Been playing that a little bit. I'm close to being done with Octopath Zero. Almost done with that. And I am close to the end. Well, probably not close, probably about 60% to the end or through the game on Silk Song. So I'm just kind of just working on that. But listen, I might have the marathon bug for some reason after watching these trailers and Divide
Oh boy.
and watching Divide Up. It's actually looking pretty good.
We're gonna discuss.
We're gonna have to talk about it because you know how starch I've been. Like I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole.
I need to.
We gonna have to talk about
everyone. I'm gonna remind everyone about Forte's addiction.
Who this studio?
Forte's addiction.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. But that's all I've been doing. What about you, Slumber? What you oh, and my Patriots lost the Super Bowl horrifically last Sunday.
That was great. I loved it.
Oh no, that was terrible, bro. I was like,
man,
what is this
most
game?
Most fun I've had in so long.
I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this game I'm watching where literally Mike McDonald is like, listen, we are just going to run the ball down your throat and we're going to kick field goals for the whole game because you can't move the ball against us. I was like, oh my God. Thank God. I won my Patriots won 6 Super Bowls and I'm not fazed by losing this one. We shouldn't have even been in the Super Bowl, bro. We should have lost the week. Listen, I am a realist. We only made the Super Bowl because Bo Nix got hurt in the game before. If Bo Nix would have played in that championship game against the Patriots, they would have beat the crap out of us. But I ain't mad at that.
That would have been a more competitive game in the Super Bowl.
It surely would have been. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But all I'm gonna say is I'm happy and proud that the team that I root for made it there ahead of schedule. Because all it can do is go up from here, SloMo. If they can make the Super Bowl and my man's and Vrabel's first year, look out below, bro. Look out below. But we shouldn't have been there this year. It was bad.
I said the same thing a year ago about my Commanders making it to the NFC Championship game. Like injuries happen, but it is what it is.
Well, injuries. But you have an excuse because injuries tilt the scale of war and competition every year. But that Super Bowl, listen, the commercials sucked. The game sucked. The halftime show was fire. That halftime show was great. I was looking at the halftime show. I was like, look at them bumping and grinding out on that field. That's. I said, shout out to this halftime show. I couldn't understand a word they were saying, and I ain't give a care. It was great. Yep. And the internet was like on fire during the halftime show. But that's it. Go ahead, SloMo.
All right, so what's on the Jumbotron right now is the demo for Mighty Raya. It's a pretty dope game. Combat is very
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's what I thought you was about to say.
What? No.
I thought you were gonna say Mighty Morphin or something.
It's funny enough. The Power Rangers TV show is finally ending. This year.
Thank God.
After 20 years, but look, it wouldn't be ending if the combat looked anything like this. Like Mighty Raya's combat is awesome. It's really good. I think some people may kind of find it being similar to some of those Dragon Ball games, like those fighting games, but it's
that really good.
Mm-hmm. In actual practice, it does play very differently, and I do like it's being made by a solo developer, a former Devil May Cry developer is creating this, and it's a dope game, man. I like the kind of tongue-in-cheek dialogue, like it breaks the fourth wall, Deadpool and be like, hey, they'll be like, hey, I think you may have finished the demo, you know, and then the other one's like, hey, you're not supposed to say that, stuff like that. And like before you fight the boss, they're just like, who's this guy? I think he might be the demo boss or something like that. Like it's
funny.
It's funny dialogue like that, but this, like, what you're seeing here is me playing through it for the maybe the second time. I my first time playing it, it's a little bit of a learning curve with the combat, a little bit different than what I'm used to. But once I got the hang of it and how they really intend you to stay airborne, like you really should be like being super aggressive, attacking enemies, staying airborne. When you get your do enough damage where you start to get some of your specials up and ready in your ultimate, you know, you use them as quickly as possible, and just like the way it all comes together is really good. And so I've been enjoying that. Like
what's the called again?
I don't know, Mighty Raya, Mighty Reya, and it's the demo came out a few days ago, like maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Tuesday it came out, but it's as you can see, like the environments are kind of simple and it's very linear, but like the fights are very fast paced and you can get rocked very easily if you don't know what you're doing. But once you kind of get the hang of it and get a hang of how vertical everything is, because like when I first started playing, I kept falling off the platform, the streets and everything like that. And once I got a hang of it a little bit better, it was much easier. And once you really get locked into how the combat's designed, it just looks dope. Looks like from a real anime. So it was pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, so let me make it's double check to make sure I didn't
It's not
say
on Steam anyway.
You know what? I called my bad. I called it Mighty Raya, but it's Mike Raya. There's no Y in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's pretty. Yep, it's a pretty awesome game. I like it. I don't know if it's coming to consoles or not. I think it should. It should. It's not a difficult game to run at all. Like I was playing it I could have played it at like over 200 frames per second, but it did have it's a demo, so it did have some little technical issues with so I ended up just playing it at 1440p because it kept defaulting to 1440p for some reason instead of 4K. But it is what it is. Let me get into some complaints I have here, some issues I got. Not with Mike Raya. This game is a day one for me when it comes out eventually. There's no release date, but like some other things. So first off, I gotta call Activision to task with this foolishness going on with Call of Duty, and I think they deserve.
It's your fault
for this Call of Duty. It's not my fault, but they deserve for this Call of Duty to be in the place that it is right now, where it is the worst selling Call of Duty they've had in a very long time. They deserve it. I've been seeing videos of YouTubers who have been kind of like sounding the alarm on how bad the anti-cheat is for Call of Duty. And, I always knew it was bad. I run into cheaters. When I run into them, I report them. I don't really make it a big deal. But I always kind of always had this idea in my mind, and I guess it was somewhat misguided or naive, that Activision was just overwhelmed. Like they're trying to get ahead of the cheats, but they can't. No, that's not it. I've now seen some evidence of things where it's just I'm seeing videos of people being interviewed by YouTubers and they're cheaters. And they're like, hey, look, jump in my Discord call. I'm going to stream my game and you could see me using the cheats. Like this guy was using wall hacks. He was using wall hacks and a radar. And he played 3 or 4 multiplayer matches. Mm-hmm. And the way he was basically shooting at people through walls, not hitting them, but he's clearly shooting at them through walls. And so when they look at the kill cam and they see this guy shooting at where they were, but behind like 2 walls, you know the guy's cheating. And multiple matches of cheating and getting away with it. And nothing happening to the guy. After people are reporting him en masse, he switches over to Warzone. He's still cheating. He's just killing everyone. He's not even that good. Like, he's not even that good at all. Like, his movement's terrible. His aim was terrible until he turned on the auto aim, the aimbot. And he was like, yeah, you know, typically if you use aimbot, like that's really kind of like the best way that their ricochet anti-cheat figures out that you're cheating. But like, they have no way of determining how people are using walls, like automatically from and when I say walls, I mean wall hacks, where people are seeing through walls. They're seeing like an outline of the player, the enemy player, through a wall. They have no way of determining this stuff. And it's just like, I understand that like cheaters are cheaters, right? And there's console cheating too. Like, people are using Cronus and Zem, and they're now also using console in conjunction with PC to run cheats off the PC for console. They're doing all kinds of things, all kinds of complicated setups to cheat because they're losers, right? But when the guy started saying that, like, he's got like he spent $5 on the cheats he was using. $5 Forte, on the cheats he was using at that time in Call of Duty.
That's crazy.
And crazy, right? And he was using, like, his accounts would get banned. He got multiple Steam accounts to use. He's got multiple dummy Call of Duty accounts to switch to. And it's like, it's whether you're on console or PC, it's the cost of actually getting caught is very minimal, because this is where I'm getting on Activision. When they do catch people, they're not permabanning them. They're just doing shadow bans. They're doing limited bans. They're doing, oh, you're suspended for a week kind of stuff. And to me, that's kind of indicative of why the game is where it's at right now, because people are sick of the cheaters. It's too frequent. It's too often. And it's demoralizing when you report a cheater, you know they're cheating, and then in the very next match, they're still in the lobby. That's annoying. And it's just like, there's no consequences to any of this stuff. And it kind of shows to me that the player base is at a point, and it's kind of like the chicken and the egg scenario, where the players don't want to play with cheaters, so they're quitting and they're playing other games where the anti-cheat's being taken seriously. And then Call of Duty doesn't want to ban the cheaters because clearly they need players. And so if they know the cheating issue is so rampant, but if they ban these players, they're not going to go buy a new copy of Call of Duty and then come back. And so they're afraid to ban them permanently because they don't want the player base to get any smaller. But the reason why the player base is so small is because you won't stop the cheaters. And so, like, that's really kind of my issue. I don't even feel like playing Call of Duty no more, honestly. Like, I was going to hit Prestige Master and then drop it. But I don't even feel like doing that right now. Just because, like, it's just, when you play so often, like I'm at the point now where my skill-based matchmaking, where every lobby got a cheater in it, at least one. And the cheaters are so bad, I can still body them at times. But like, when I come around a corner and you already headshot me and you're using aimbot and a wall hack to see I was there, I know the difference between a dude using UAV or a harp and knowing my location legit through the game, to know I was coming around the corner, versus a dude who wasn't using any of that stuff, and he's tracking me through the wall. You see him aiming ADS me through the wall and then shoot me when I come around the corner. Like, some of these guys try to hide that they're cheating because they don't want to get reported. But at this point now, dudes is not even hiding it no more. They're just like, yeah, I'm cheating, man. Go ahead and report me. It's just, nothing's going to happen. Right. And so I'm just like, at this point, why bother playing a game where like the cheating nothing's being done about it. It's part of the reason why like I stopped playing Rogue Company, which I did kind of reinstall. And I did play a little bit of Rogue Company. The game's abandoned by Hi-Rez, so yeah, this cheating is rampant. So I'm not really playing it too much, but I gotta call it out, man. I'm freaking sick and tired of it. Like, if you want to fix your game, like, there's an easy way to do that. That isn't like people complain about what the campaign sucked in this one. No one cares about the campaign. Keep it a buck. The people who play the campaign barely play Call of Duty. They're not the people that really keep the game alive. It's the people who are playing Warzone and multiplayer. You can't keep them in there because you can't fix cheaters. That's on you, and that's not, and it's going to continue to get worse until they fully address it.
Interesting.
What else? My other issue. So I've been kind of slowly every now and then, like a comfort food kind of thing, playing Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition. I finished that this week, and it was just one day this week. I just decided to spend a lot of time in it. Finished it. Started playing Mass Effect 2. So I just need to just I just came to the realization this week. I was talking to Luca about this earlier this morning. BioWare just sucks at optimization on PC. They just suck at it. Like they're just freaking terrible. There are bugs in Mass Effect Legendary Edition that were in the PC version of the original release of those games over a decade ago. Same bugs. Same transition, but from cutscene bugs where the game can't find the movie that's supposed to bring out of your storage and then run it in the game. It can't find it. The whole game crashes. It's the same crap that I was dealing with when I was playing this game back in like 2017 before they came out with the Legendary Edition. Like, why am I dealing with the same issues? It's having to edit files and find movie files and put them in the right folder, edit INI files because when you change the graphical settings revert back to what they were before. And it's just like, what? This is the same crap. It's, I wish I could say, hey, BioWare, do better. But I mean, at this point, they're just basically hanging on and trying to finish up this last Mass Effect game before they get shut down anyway. So it is what it is. But no, I mean, that's all I've really been playing. The Mike Raya demo, Call of Duty, Mass Effect, and yeah, Mass Effect 2, still a GOAT. It's freaking awesome. I played that. I get the chills whenever I play Mass Effect 2. It's so good. It's peak BioWare. So
amazing.
Yes, sir. But I'm done with all that. And you guys ready to get into these rapid fire topics?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Oh really? Supermassive Games. Their new game, Directive 8020, comes out May 2nd. And I have to admit, until I saw this announcement, I completely forgot this game existed. Like I had zero like thought in my brain about this game whatsoever. Maybe that's just due to how far Supermassive has fallen. But I gotta kind of ask you guys, like, and I'll ask you first, Forte. Can Supermassive turn this around? Because they've had, if you've been paying attention, their founders were fired. First, they sold the company to another company. That company fired the leadership, brought in new leadership, and their last two games have been disappointing critically as well as commercially. So, is this it? Like, is this the last chance for them to actually, like, even be around in a couple years if this game doesn't work out? What do you think?
You talking about the Hail Mary they just attempted and failed?
Well, yeah, I mean, like they're basically following the Telltale playbook, which didn't go great for Telltale because Telltale kept doing all these license deals with other companies where they end up having to pay so much because they don't own the intellectual property. They end up having to pay so much that it ends up becoming like, well, even if it was successful, you gotta give a lot of that money to the people who own the property, and when it's not successful, you still owe them that money. So like, how much money did you actually make? And I feel like they've fallen into that trap. It has not worked out. It definitely didn't work out with that Dead by Daylight game. And their last they were supposed to be doing 10 dark picture games. I don't know if Bandai Namco just said, you know what? Don't worry about it.
They only get through 2 or 3 of them.
They did 5.
Oh, it's 5 of them?
Yeah. But the last one, The Devil in Me.
Devil in Me was the last one.
That was absolutely terrible. So Directive 8020, I'm just kind of like, I don't even know what it's about really. I've only seen one trailer and they haven't shown us much since then. I'm kind of like, y'all follow Telltale a little too closely because y'all about to end up just like them. What are your thoughts on that though?
First of all, when I knew this game, I knew when I thought it was worrisome when, I understand they're following the Telltale formula, but man, when I see a game with all the NPCs or all of the characters in the game got dead eyes, I'm like, yo, it's over. When I was looking at that trailer for 8020, and I was like, the game looked good, but then
all the games look good visually.
Yeah, the game looks good, but I'm sitting there looking at the characters, and I'm like, it's like this is lifeless. Like there's no, like it feels like I hear words and I hear an experience coming from the characters, but it's like the emotion just doesn't ring through in looking at them on screen. Now, granted, we haven't played the game or anything like that, but it doesn't make me want, like seeing the trailer doesn't evoke me into wanting to play the game. And it's not like I'm really into that type of storytelling and gameplay at this moment now anyway. So it's like kind of a double thing. It's like at a certain point, it's like there are people out there that enjoy games like this, but I feel like for them, I just think it needs to be more than just this. It seems like it's almost like they feel like they have to like kind of piece this together, use the playbook that's already been established, which is fine. And I understand that, but I also feel like you really can't, copy and paste when it's a game that you are trying to like survive off of. It's like, you got to have your own identity. It has to have its own way of convincing people to come play the game other than, oh, it's a game that's like this game that you guys might want to play. That only gets you so far, because when you compare a game to another game that was great, if that game doesn't at least land on that plane or at least come close to like the carrier that it was sitting on, it kind of falls flat on its face and people just kind of move on and forget it. And especially when a game isn't like a full price game where it's like a huge incentive to, gut it out and play as much as it possibly you can because you paid like 50 or 60, 70, $80 for it. Cause this is probably only going to be like a $40 game. So,
I think, let me double. I can't
maybe
remember
40,
where
30. I don't think it's going to be a full $60 game. It could be, I don't know. And if it is a full $60 game, I definitely don't see enough there that makes me want to like say, I want to play this game. I will say, and this is the truth, I think a lot of people, we give services and stuff like Game Pass and PlayStation Premium and all of these different services that give you the ability to play games for a cheaper price. I think we give them a bad rap due to the fact that we feel like a lot of stuff is fodder. And that's definitely earned, because it's not like we have been getting like the experiences on a consistent basis to make us feel like that's not the case. But it has changed the way that people consume games. Like even myself being a person that has Game Pass and had it since 2017 all the way to this point, I don't base my buying habits off of having Game Pass, but I do think about, would I play that game if it was in Game Pass? And if I wouldn't play that game in Game Pass, why would I buy that game to play it? So that's kind of where a lot of games are at this point.
I feel that, but sometimes I've played a game in Game Pass where like it surprised me. And I was like, oh, well, that actually was better than I thought, and I ended up buying it later on. But it doesn't happen all the time.
No. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, the first instance is, would I play this game if it's in Game Pass? And then you would say yes, or you would say, yeah, I would give it a try if it's in Game Pass. I probably wouldn't buy the game, and then you would have the inkling of saying, I'll try it out, because it's not a game that I'm willing to spend $60 on. I'll give you a perfect example. PlayStation Premium, if they did something like that and Returnal was in there, I was hugely against buying Returnal at $70 when it came out. I would not have done it. I didn't do it. I didn't buy that game until I got it on sale for $35.99. That's when I finally over that. That's fine. You can fight me all you want. I refuse. And I listen. And I love that studio. That studio is awesome. Resogun was one of my favorite games they've ever made. I love that game. I love it. But guess what? I wasn't paying $70 for it.
Do you think Saros is worth full price?
No, but what I was going to say was, I wasn't going to spend it on that. But if it was a PlayStation Premium, I definitely would have gave it a try, because I wanted to, I do want to play the game. I just didn't think the price point was right. This game, I'm looking at it and I'm like, And I just feel like when we get to the point where we're thinking of how much, if a game should be in a subservice versus it just being a price game that you buy, and that's kind of the first thing you think of, I kind of feel like you already lost the fight, because there's nothing intangible other than the fact, like you said, SloMo, this game reminds you of other games. It's like hell. Matter of fact, it's like High Guard. It reminds you of a bunch of things, and everybody said, you should play High Guard. You should play this. And I said, I am not playing that game, because it's a game that does everything that another game does, but it doesn't do any of it as good as the game that it took it from. And people was like, yeah, I actually had fun with it. This and that, blah, blah, blah. And I know it's probably a topic, but guess what? They laying off the dev team gone.
I actually forgot to make it a topic.
Yeah, the game is going to be gone in 2 weeks.
I think that says a lot about the game that I forgot to make it a topic.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody was up here 2 weeks ago talking about, oh man, High Guard this, and they was like, Forte, you ain't gonna play it. I said, no. What for? It's a mediocre game that you guys out here are hyping up because you think it's something different, but it looks like every game it's trying to cover, it can't do none of it well. So I'm not putting that on super massive on this, because it could be a great game. But when I see a game and all I do is think of other games and Telltale and stuff like that had amazing stories and like I said, the downfall of Telltale was the licensing. Like, they couldn't keep up with that. It wasn't because the games weren't good. They just weren't making enough money. Because guess what? The studio, when they brought back remember when they made the new studio, they brought back a lot of the people that were working at Telltale to make the new games and stuff. So it wasn't a development issue. It was just the systems that they were using to make the games wasn't sustainable. I'm looking at this like, okay, this is an original thing, but is it going to be its own thing, or is it going to be something that they're just trying to, piecemeal their ways through because they feel like their back's up against the wall, which it is. And I just don't feel like that's not a good recipe for trying to pull yourself out of the gutter when it comes to like gamer, sentiment and stuff like that. But that's how I feel.
Yeah.
A lot to say, by the way.
Yeah, you sure did. You had a lot more to say about this than I thought you would. Welcome, Gaming Addict. Lord Addict is here. You said in the chat you've played Directive 8020. Like you get to go to a lot of shows and see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I played it last year. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So let me pick your brain on it for a little bit. You played their previous games, right? Like a lot.
Yes.
You have to play all.
The last game they made was the Quarry, I think.
the Quarry. That was a couple years ago. I think they made about 2 games since then. They made The Devil in Me and
I think that was before,
Dead by
wasn't it?
Daylight game. Oh no, the Devil in Me is their last Dark Pictures game. Even though the Quarry was like not a Dark Pictures game, but like no, they've had 2 since then. But I would say all 3 of those have been kind of a disappointment to me. I don't know about you.
I think their last game was that Frank Stone game.
Yeah, that's the Dead by Daylight game.
Okay.
Yeah. So, having played their previous games, what did you feel about Directive 8020 when you played it, like compared to those other ones?
I mean, it felt like felt similar to what they do. I will say that there is more moving around in this game. There's a section that you got to run from something. I don't know if I'm still. They didn't want me saying what it was then, so I don't know if they've been elaborate with it now. But they didn't. If you went down like you had to sneak around it. So a lot of the time, like
is it another Wendigo?
Is
it a new Wendigo? Something different? We are taking stuff from other games. It could be a Wendigo part 2.
We'll talk.
A Demogorgon. Is that what it is?
We'll talk later, Forte. Just let him finish.
So
is it a xenomorph?
I do think that what they're doing is pretty on point from what they've always done. But it does seem a little bit more cost and effect. Like they brought back a lot of the core aspects that was in because I think their best game by far is Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've never matched that.
Not even close. The Quarry was okay, but still, like they're having a hard time, like recapturing that. And I think a lot of it is they keep making smaller in games. Because Until Dawn was like a fully funded game, and I feel like their goal was to we're gonna make Until Dawn was like a full flow game, and then it because they've always not went with the standard. We're going to make an episodic game, like it's going to be beginning, middle, and end. We're not going to cut these up into pieces, because that used to be a thing. For a good 6-7 years, we got games episodic, so
and Telltale, they with the first Walking Dead season made that popular, even to the point where you saw games
or maybe 6.
It was 5, I think. But even so, IO Interactive with Hitman, right. And so, it's kind of like a copycat industry. Everyone kind of sees something successful and they jump on the same bandwagon.
Hitman tried it and they flopped because
exactly. I was going to use that example.
So it's just if you got to think back to the Telltale conversation, they're one of the few studios that got a lot of hype. I mean, it's like I said, they won that a couple Game of the Years from multiple outlets the year that Walking Dead thing came out. You got to keep in mind too, that's when Walking Dead was at its height, I would say too. So that probably helped it tremendously. But when it comes to Supermassive, I always felt like people tell me Quantum Dreams, Detroit is really, really good.
It's pretty good. It's okay.
Yeah, I've never played that, but I've always felt Supermassive has high quality, and when it comes to the Until Dawns, I've never felt besides the Quarry, because I didn't play the Frank Stone one. Besides the Quarry, I've never felt like they've had the budget to go into something like Until Dawn again.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think there's something that I've noticed where compared to Until Dawn, where they had characters that felt very fleshed out, they weren't
they hired
one-note characters with one person. Right, you had Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek from Mr. Robot. You had some serious acting chops in there, right? And then the other ones, you would see a few actors that you recognize, but they weren't big names like that. They weren't people who were super established. But I felt like the writing for the characters were very different. You could bring up say Emily in Until Dawn, and everyone hated her because she was kind of a bitch, right? But she also had like all of them was one that was very much when the chips were down, like she locked in, and she did what she needed to do to survive, where other people may freeze up or other people may end up dead. She's a survivor. And so it's like there were different layers to these characters. But if you, for example, in Man of Medan, which was like their first Dark Pictures
That was
game,
a decent one. That was decent. The one where you're on the ship.
Yeah, on the ghost ship. It was decent, but you can tell all these characters seem very like the guy that played Iceman in the X-Men movies is in it. And like his character, he's the dude bro guy that just does way too much and causes problems. And he's that guy the entire game. Like he never grows, he never changes. It's just it's very different in terms of like the depth that you get from the characters. And I think that goes to your point that like the budgets are different. Like I don't think Bandai Namco was paying them anywhere near as much money as Sony was for Until Dawn. And you could definitely tell with like the time and development. I remember doing a video on that years ago on my channel where I was like, I feel like Supermassive is shortchanging themselves because they're talking about releasing a game a year. And I'm like, you're not really, it's just impossible for you to make like a game that's going to be on the level Until Dawn in that short-term development cycles. It's just not possible. So I didn't want to move on before we got Ramon's opinion on this, especially since Ramon, you're an actor and writer. So for you, this might seem very, our opinions may seem somewhat naive or amateurish. But what are your thoughts on all of this in regards to the Directive 8020 and Supermassive?
Well, you guys have been consuming this media as well as other media for enough time to have opinions that are very informed, and they are. One thing that sticks out to me is when Forte was saying that the dead eyes and the dead faces and everything, and then when you're talking about a character who experienced no character arc whatsoever, and it kind of puzzles me because every successful game knows what it's trying to do. And like you can take a game that's a hack and slash. Okay, let's take Devil May Cry. It's a hack and slash. It has a serviceable story. You enjoy the story. You love Dante, but it knows what it's trying to do. It's trying to be a hack and slash with a cool character. They achieve both of those. The gameplay and the combat is fire, and everybody loves Dante. So then when you go to a game like The Quarry, obviously combat is not what it's centered around. It's not centered around this big open world exploration.
The story's got to be much better.
So the story is its bread and butter. And then to complement that, you have the acting / mocap, because it lives and dies on its story and its performance. So how do you have poor motion capture, facial capture, and poor writing? Like those, it literally lives and dies on that. That's all it has. It doesn't have anything else. So it just puzzles me how you don't stick the landing on the things that it's supposed to do well.
A lot of the time, unfortunately, is the priorities, the talent that they have in the studio. What kind of money are they willing to fund for this? Some things, if they want to have like a huge budget in terms of like voice actors, another department got to suffer in terms of money because that's not cheap.
True.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, I'm not going to say like the game's going to be a failure or anything like that. I hope it's good, and I probably will pick this up when it comes out because I've played their previous games. But I just do kind of come into it with a little bit of a pessimistic view on it, because just based off of their previous games and all the turmoil the studio has gone through over the past year, I just kind of feel somewhat like this is going to be a problem. But we can move on to the next one. This one is actually okay. So I want to have a discussion here about this, because this is kind of I got some thoughts about this. So Square Enix announced a streamlined progression for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They did this for Remake as well, but essentially, all your hits on enemies can be 9,999 damage. All the gauges that are the ATB gauges that shows when you can act are going to be fully charged permanently. It's not like the entire way the game is played, but essentially it is a mode that you can turn on. I fully get that. You don't have to play it that way. But can we talk about how it appears developers are increasingly making these games beyond easy, like beyond easy modes? I used to call it like journalist mode. And for journalists out there, hey, sorry,
plays itself mode.
Exactly. You might as well just put the controller down and just watch a movie or something. And I don't like it because to me it's just like it's
wait their turn.
Yeah, I don't like seeing games being this easy. I get I kind of feel like it's about this generation of gamers where they don't want the challenge. They don't want to learn. They don't like a game has a learning curve. They just drop it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Forte, what are your thoughts about that? Did we lose Forte? Are he still there?
I'm still here. Yeah, I said my thoughts about what?
So Forte wasn't paying attention. All right, add it.
I was paying attention. Go ahead, man.
No. Your thoughts on easy modes.
No,
me. You the one that wasn't paying attention.
No, I wasn't.
How you gonna gaslight him to act like you was paying attention?
Exactly.
No. He gonna say
keep saying nope a bunch.
Nope, I sure am. Yep, because he gonna just move on from me. He's like, oh, you weren't paying attention. Blah 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 blah. I was actually paying attention.
Okay, so what was I talking about?
Forward question though, Forte.
I know it's simple. Like easy
No. Hold on. Forte, what was the topic?
Go ahead, man.
Huh? What was the topic?
Move on.
Exactly. He gonna learn the topic now from you guys. All right. Addict. What are your thoughts on this trend we're seeing here?
I already know the trend, but go ahead.
What are we talking about?
Exactly.
I'm joking.
No. So you can joke and I can't. Okay. Yep. I see how it is.
Because he's making a joke and you're dead serious. Don't know what we were talking about.
I do know what you were talking about. But go ahead.
Okay, tell us.
Go ahead. I am being ornery and stubborn right now. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Your thoughts, sir.
It comes down to it. I'm with you. I think it's getting a little weird on like how it's one thing to like put stuff into place to make things like, easy mode, stuff like that. But now I feel like they don't even want gamers to play the game. Like maybe they see that as like making more money because if you don't want to stress yourself out, you just toss that stuff on. Because, I see it like the original Final Fantasies when they started implementing like push the right analog stick in for like triple XP or push the left analog stick in for no encounters. Like, so it's kind of like an evolution off of what they've been doing because they've been doing that for a while. This isn't the first thing. Like in Final Fantasy 8, if I believe, 8, you can put on the mode where everyone just consistently gets limit breaks and stuff. So like it's not like it's unheard of, but I do feel that like there's not a middle ground anymore. Like people are going like further left than they should. And who am I to tell like a studio how to make their game? Like, look, my thing is like as long as they're being honest and they're being sincere that this doesn't take away from the core experience. They build what we normally play and they scale down. Okay, what can we do to make this? I don't want it being built from the scale down and then they scale it up.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah, as long as they build that base game and then they build all the other features around that, I don't care what they do. It's like Bloodborne because people say, well, What happens if From Software starts making easy modes? I don't care as long as you make the base mode that we normally always play, and then go in there and make an easy mode that you take less damage or whatever. You can like hit your own modifiers that you want. I don't care. It's just as long as they're genuine and make sure that this game was designed with that classic difficult spike that they like, and they built something afterwards to be more appealing to the the everyday person.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of disagree with that part, especially with From Software, because I feel like that's part of their DNA, that it's hard and there is no like drop it down difficulty kind of thing. If they ever put
Their DNA is their games are hard. That's not going to change. You're still going to get that same experience. Because it's like I said, as long as it's built from the ground up with that experience in mind, and then after they've built the game, then they make let's scale this down. I don't want them building it for the easy mode and then scaling up. Like, I want the whole game built around the experience that we normally play. That's like my only real like conditions for situations like that. As long as they keep that mindset, I don't normally care, because I'm done with like the fighting, that stuff, because it's like, who am I to tell a developer if he feels like he can get a couple extra million sales by doing that? Who am I to tell them not to do that? But it's like, at the same time, they got to keep the general audience in mind when they do these things.
Yeah, I feel you, but I think I'm gonna sound like one of those guys that's just like.
Well, you don't gotta sound like that, but continue.
I'll use Elden Ring as an example. So I beat Elden Ring and I beat Millennia, the Blade of Milica, right? And I beat her, and this is terrible. And yes, I know it's a single player game, and my experience does not have to be anyone else's experience, but I just hate seeing that someone else is going to be able to beat her and say, I beat Millennia, and I gotta be like, but did he like drop it to easy? Did you change the mode? Like, I hate that. Like, I just want to be like, all right, congratulations, you beat Millennia. Like, and you had the same headache I had dying to her 30 times before you finally got her.
We already have that though. Like, did you beat Radon before patch or after patch? Oh, did you beat Radon with this build? Oh, you did. Unless you went completely butt ass naked with a dagger, you can't say shit to me. Like,
those are the weirdos. He's like, I feel like there's a middle ground. Like, it's not quite black. It's like they're the weirdo From Software fans. And if you're a weirdo From Software fan listening to this, sorry, not sorry. Y'all are weird. It's just like, the game hard enough as it is, or easy enough as it is, as some of them say. And if someone wants to use the mimic tier, like, that's not like, they're not a chump, they're not like whatever like idea you get in your head. I'm all for using whatever resources that From Software made available to you to use when the game comes out.
That's
I just
my
don't
point.
want a difficulty slider.
We're already having these conversations, and it has nothing to do with like the difficulty. To me, like, regardless, because that's why it's like, it's not like these things are being respected anyway. They're still being clowned. So it's just like, why care at that point? Where it's like, you could literally beat Millennia at the very beginning before the game came out, and people are still going to be like, well, what'd you play her with? What'd you fight her with? Oh, you used that weapon?
Bleed build. You used the bleed build on her. Oh, did you rot her? Did you use the Crimson Rot? You loser! Like it's just it's the same stuff. Yeah, I get you.
That's my point. It's like it's not like we're not already having those conversations. At least with those situations, it's like, okay, you beat her, whatever. Like, and I get what you're saying. Sometimes I do feel like the industry needs more gatekeeping in certain aspects, but this is one of those things where it's like, we're gonna roast each other anyway, and it doesn't matter what you do. Like, so you can literally beat some of these From Software bosses with like I said, bare ass naked with a dagger or with the weakest weapon. Like, why'd you dodge 68 times and not 69? Like,
you didn't parry anything, Yeah, but like the kind of like bring up Final Fantasy again, right? With Rebirth, I thought the way they did it was fine, where you had the easy mode or story mode, whatever you want to call it, and then you had your normal mode. But then they also had like this, I forgot what they called it, but it was like a flexible kind of mode where if you were, it's like the game was looking at how well you were doing in normal mode or at whatever difficulty it was, and it would increase the difficulty per your encounters based on how efficient you were killing the enemy. So it's just like, oh, well, your body and everything, let's bump it up a bit. And then if you start to kind of struggle, then they kind of keep it where it is. Or if you're definitely getting bodied, they kind of lower it, whatever. But that was just kind of based upon everyone's skill level in dealing with the combat and everything. And I thought that was perfect. That's fine. Like if someone's trash, then it's going to be super easy for them with that level, with that mode, because they die into everything. Like they have a 99 hit combo mode that's just like, why? I don't get it. Maybe it's just
no, I feel you. I just think at this point, man, especially these communities that like talk about hard games. Did you play this game on hard? I play everything on the difficulty that they say is the standard, because the majority of difficult games in modern day is just, we're gonna make this thing take more damage and do more damage to you, and you ain't doing more damage to it. Like there's no
not really
AI
AI-based.
definition. There's nothing. It's just
more health and more damage. Yeah,
and they have more health. I mean, you still have the same amount of health, but you're doing less. So it's just like, at that point, I don't even care if they have like a modifier when you start up a game where you can just push a button and modify anything about the game. I know they probably won't do that because especially hardware limitations with consoles, but it's just like, I vaguely, my only thing is, if a dev wants to do it, I don't want a dev feeling like they're being bullied to do it, because that's where I draw the line. Like, look, some games aren't for everyone, and if the dev doesn't want to maneuver their game to your likings, that is that's their prerogative. Like, you either learn how to play their game or just go play something else.
I agree with that. Yeah. Ramon, I think this is actually kind of an interesting conversation, because it just occurred to me. Remember us playing Elden Ring with Luca, and us fighting. What was it? Mog? Was it Mog we were fighting? I think
it was.
it
was. Him. And we fought Melania too.
Yeah. And so in co-op, like that's a part of the game. It is implemented in there.
Oh, God forbid you use co-op on From Software games. Oh my God.
Right. Yeah. People act like it's the craziest thing in the world, but people also don't understand. I think that's where some of the entitlement turns into ignorance, because they don't realize that the scaling of the bosses and the damage they do doesn't scale to the host, who it could be weaker than like the actual co-op partners. It scales to the co-op partners. So like I use the example with Ramon. We're fighting Mog, we're fighting Millennia, and Luca's character is like level 239 or some crap like that. And
she handled our asses.
Yeah, and it's like all Millennia needed or Mog needed was like one good solid hit on Ramon, and he's dead.
Oh yeah,
and the fight's over because he's the host. Yeah, it's just so it's like the difficulty scaling made it so like we looked at it like it's just fun. We're just playing the game together and we're having a good time. But like people look at that as go like, oh, how dare you?
I think a lot of the reason people think that is because I'm not defending them, because I don't care if you play with people or not. Is they look at, because these encounters are designed for 1v1s. It's not like they designed a lot of these encounters to have like 2 or 3 people fighting one boss, because then they would upscale that too, where it's okay. We're going to put more ads into place. Like that's why people say that when you play like co-op, because you're able to, split the
The
attention.
attention.
And
Yeah.
that is everything. If you don't have to work, if you get some time to like breathe, go, cool, heal, I got him. Like
Right.
that's
It's a different kind of fight. It's a different kind of
To
fight.
be honest, like
you don't.
for me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, I honestly didn't mind that they. I mean, even though it was weird, It didn't bother me that they scaled boss to like say to the person with the highest level. I mean, yeah, we got handled up bad, but it wasn't like there was no anger, there was no irritation. We're having fun. Like I was laughing. The only time I got angry was when some jackass entered our game or invaded our game. Like
the invaders.
like
I actually
seriously,
love that though. I love invaders.
I
It's funny
can't
to me.
stand it because it's like I'm trying to enjoy my game with my friends, and then here comes this fool who wants to come in and invite himself to the party, and then turn all the NPCs against you. It's like the fact that they don't allow you to turn that off is really annoying. But that's a whole other thing. But like, I didn't mind the scaling because at the end of the day, it's friends having fun, and if we getting rage induced, you know what I mean, then there's a problem. But as far as like games being like too easy and so forth, or them making easy settings too easy, like I kind of see both sides of it to a degree because like I generally play my games on normal, but then you get a game like First Berserker Kazan, like I beat that game on hard and it whipped me. Like I mean, boss encounters like normally I don't bother with that because it's like I'm kind of like I ain't got time to be beating my head against the wall on a boss, but I enjoyed the gameplay of the game so much that I didn't mind, and that took me 85 hours, right? But then on the flip side, when I play a game that's as long as like say Final Fantasy Rebirth, right? Play that game on easy. The reason why I play it on easy is because when you got a game that's 50 hours long for the campaign, it's like, okay, like I could definitely get through the game on normal, no problem. But it's like at this point, it's an RPG anyway, and it's 50 hours base game. I don't want to be in this game for 100 hours. You know what I mean? Like I get open world fatigue once I've been in a game for too long, unless it's with rare exceptions. Like The Witcher 3 is a rare exception. So it's like, but as far as, like them making it to where the game almost go ahead.
Well, would you play the streamlined mode of Rebirth? Where
So
it's like every hit is 9,999 damage, and your ATB gauge is always at max.
So basically,
So
just
you
makes
can kill
the
anything with
combat
one hit
it makes the
at any
combat
time.
inconsequential. Then
Yeah, basically. Yeah, there's no challenge to it whatsoever.
oh no, I would
It's
never.
it's easier than easy, essentially.
No, I would never do that because it's almost like what's the point? Like it's almost pointless at that point. I might as well watch a streamer play the game.
I would say that a good. I'm pro if you use these modes, you don't get achievements. If that's a good way of balancing
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
then
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so like if someone says, "Yeah, man, I beat Millennia," and they'd be like, "All right, where's your achievements /trophy?"
Oh well,
right.
Or what they could do is, let's say you do, you play, you fight her on like the easy mode that they have. They give you an achievement, but it's not the other one. It's like you beat the easy Millennia or something like that. Like,
yeah. She's got like flowers, and well, she has flowers anyway, but it's like a different kind of flower. Like it looks different than everyone else's achievement, therefore you can't brag on it.
She looks like before she lost her arm and stuff. Like, and if you beat her, she looks like she does in the game.
Or she only has one phase, and you'd be like, "Man, did you struggle on the second phase?" And be like, "What second phase?" Oh, I see what mode you played it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. Forte, are you up to date on what the topic is now?
Nope, still not. You can move on.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. We can move on.
This
You have
craziness stuff y'all talking.
what craziness? What's crazy about it?
I'm not talking about y'all. I'm just saying people in general. People that man. This whole topic, this whole topic just irritates me to the core.
Why?
Because it's like, well, not you guys. I'm just saying in general that it's like the crying about easy modes, and I was like, bro, it's like it has to be this generation, the newer generation of gamers, because like I relished in trying to conquer something that was beating my butt. It was like if I was struggling.
Yeah, that's how we grew up playing.
It was just normal. It was like, bro, like I'm trying to think. Okay, like I always go back. Mile High Club, Modern Warfare 2, Last Mission, trying to get up those planes upstairs to get that. I did that for 9 straight. It felt like a day and a half to get that 30-second rundown just so I can get that last achievement to give me the full achievement for Modern Warfare 2. That was hard, bro. It's like I tried doing it recently, like probably like a year ago. That's not recent, but like a year ago. And it's hard. I was like, yo, I'm not doing this again. I already did it once. I got the achievement. Like Addict. And then people talk about, well, when you're doing it with other people, it kind of diminishes the thing. Like even if it's like kind of, built in a co-op fashion. Like I think about Destiny and I think about D1. When to get the 1,000 on it, you had to beat a raid flawlessly. That means I had to count on 5 other individuals not to die in this raid for I could get this achievement, and I did it one time. I did it once. It was. I had to depend on 3.
It was me too. I was. We literally kept restarting the raid to finish this achievement to get this thing, and then it irritated. And at first, I never thought about it, but it irritated me when Bungie put out an inclusion post that says now you can get it by just beating a Nightfall. Now you can get this. Now they changed the achievement to finish a raid flawlessly or beat a Nightfall. And I was like, those two things are not the same. They are not the same. So it was just it's like when I see stuff like that, it's like I understand that people have problems with playing games, but I also feel like there should be a mechanism that shows off your achievements in the game. Like when I play like SloMo, we played Remnant 1, we played Remnant 2 together, and the struggle was real. That struggle was real, bro. Like we was frustrated. We was cussing each other out, yelling at each other. No. Change your build.
Luca was cussing us out.
Just get ready to ask you, like that sounds
Luca. You and I were chill. Luca was freaking out, cussing us out. SloMo, change your build right now. That's not going to work. I'm like, stop telling me what to do. I'm gonna do what I'm doing. No, change it now, ho. That kind of stuff.
You know, be the worst in Destiny, where like. You're trying not to be a jackass, and you're not trying to call people out specifically. And then you go
the DPS.
40. You go in like 40 minutes. Duh. Okay, well, what does everyone have on? Like, it's like
the fact that they show your DPS at the end of a wipe, it's like, what are you doing? And then remember we had that one person in the raid that was like, dude, this is you're supposed to have a sniper rifle. We were playing against Axis on D-Stone Crypt, and you're supposed to snipe the bubble and stuff. And this dude had a shotgun. He was like, I don't have a sniper. Shotgun. He was like, he was shooting this thing with the shotgun, and I'm like, bro, your damage is like everybody else's damage is like like 4.3 million, and this dude's damage is like 1.2, and everybody's like looking like, what's going on with your damage? Well, I don't got a sniper.
And
It sound like that
in those
Harlem Night.
situations,
Oh, really?
yeah, right.
But
in those situations, you need to kick somebody out.
Well, no,
I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Well, listen, it came down to that sometimes, but that was the stuff that like kind of brought people together. And like I said, that's all in the team aspect. But then you're just proud when you beat something. It's like when you finally conquer something that's been kicking your butt all day. That's pretty great. When I watch speed runs of people trying to like beat a game in a certain amount of time, and they get through that one hurdle, like that really is like the thing that could really hold them up.
We gave up on the last wish, and we celebrated because we watched the people that raced for the end. And we were probably just as excited they beat it that they were.
Yep. No, we literally, I remember we was in the raid, and we literally, like, as soon as they said that we was like had the stream up, and then we was like, bro, they beat Riven. Then they race it to the end, and they got to beat the clock and stuff. And we're like, yo, this is kind. And you know what? Guess what? We didn't do that till the next day after contest mode was over. But it was still cool though to see somebody beat their head again. And that was a 24-hour, I think that was 24 hours before that was beaten.
That was the longest raid.
The longest raid ever. It is crazy. But people want to sit here and say, oh, I want things to be easier and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But you know, I get that. But when it intrudes on other people's enjoyment of the game, it's like it feels like the industry is moving towards a direction where they want everybody to feel happy. When I'm sitting there like, gaming has never been about every being happy. The gaming has always been about just the ability for you to pick up a game and play it and try to conquer something on your own or with your friends. You know, Mega Man was not an easy game. Like Mega Man 1 and 2 on NES was not an easy game. It seems like it's easy. It wasn't. Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden, those weren't easy games back then.
Absolutely not. I think it's a generational thing because, like, you know, because we still get games that would try to challenge us now. Like, I'll use two examples. One is Star Scourge Radon? No, whatever the version of Radon in the DLC for Elden Ring. That version, if you notice,
Legend Consort Radon. Something.
Yes, the consort Radon. Like that version of him, really, you can tell from software understood how people were approaching boss fights in Elden Ring. You know, they got, if they were playing solo, they got their mimic tier, and they understood that ringing the bell to bring out the mimic tier took some time, but all their boss fights were designed where you would go into the arena and the boss don't attack you immediately. He kind of maybe doing his little thing, he kind of dancing a little bit.
Even if you got him out, Radon like used his strongest moves on him almost every time. Like,
right, and the funny thing was with the final boss Radon in the DLC is that as soon as you walk in, this man rushes you from across the arena. You have no time to pull out that mimic tier. He's hitting you as before you can finish ringing the bell. As you can tell from software, it was like, we know what you want to do. We're not going to allow you to do it this time. You're going so you're going to, if you get that mimic tier out, you're going to have to fight Radon to even have the time to do that. And I love that they approached it that way with Sandfall Interactive with Expedition 33. All that free DLC content that came out with in December with the new area, the new boss fights, the remixing of old bosses. Oh man, you can tell that they were thinking about, okay, we know how you beat this boss before. We're not going to within like the tower and as well as the other boss of the new area. We're not going to allow you to play the game that way.
They're like,
have to rethink how you do your build.
Your strongest stuff can deliver a damage output of 5 million. We giving them 80.
Yes, yeah, and you know, I feel bad for everyone who's like myself when I played on PC. I was already at like new game +5. So
and not
the
to mention,
damage
you didn't have
increase
the OP,
is
if
so
you didn't
bad.
have the OP builds before they did it, you felt so defeated. Like there's no way you're doing this.
Yes, and they definitely designed those boss fights around the OP builds. So it's just like, okay, all right, well, you know, you on average hitting like 80 million. Once you do all the buffing with CL and then the debuffing of the boss to make them move slower so you get more turns, and then finally you got Mayel or now Lune, because Lune's like real powerful now when she wasn't before,
Yeah,
and you hit like a massive attack.
Do like 6
They're like,
million
okay,
with just Lune.
right, and then so everyone's got multiple phases. Like I fought they call them dualistos because there's 2 of them now.
They combined into one.
Yeah, they combined into one and they changed their attack pattern that you gotta get down. Like I like the challenge, but it just seems like there's far more people who care about streamlined, and I'm just using that example, but streamlined Final Fantasy 7 games where it's just like maximum damage, the attack gauge never goes down, then people wanting the challenge. Nah, man, give me more instead of give me less. That's all. It just seems to be a big generational
I hate
difference.
to say this, guys, but I gotta go.
All right, later, bro.
Oh, okay, no. I appreciate you coming through, man.
See you guys
later.
That is Gaming Addict, Lord Addict with the Iron Lords podcast. Check them out Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on their YouTube channel, Iron Lord Podcast, with Lord Cognito, Lord Sovereign, and King David. My bad. Go ahead, Forte. Did I lose Forte?
I'm here.
That's it. Go ahead, because I just wanted to say that before you.
No. I was just gonna say before we move on, what was like your one of the hardest bosses you played, but it was like so memorable because of the stage it was on, the environment. Like I always go back to Sekiro and I go back to the Divine Dragon. I love that fight. That fight was so cool, bro. It wasn't even really that it was hard, but it was so cool the way that fight was broke out, and with the dragon in the background and having to grapple your way all the way close to it and everything, and all the different phases it had. I was like, yo, this is, and then the music in that part of the game is incredible. The whole music score in that game is incredible. Shout out to them. But that's like one of my more memorable, like when it comes to like the stage and the scene that it's on. I always go back to that game and that boss in general to say that was really cool. What about you guys?
I'll say this real quick, and then Ramon can go. It wasn't really a difficult fight, but memorable. Like it was super memorable. So like my first time ever playing the Souls game, I streamed all of it on Twitch, and then kind of put it. You could probably find on my YouTube channel the replay of this fight. But there's like in Demon Souls, and I made a lot of mistakes, which Luca will not let me forget all the mistakes I made. But I made a ton of mistakes. Like I killed vendors because I didn't understand the guy was a vendor. And
I know what you're talking about. I almost did that too.
Yeah, I sold a item that I was supposed to actually convert into a weapon, and it got cussed out for it. I did all kinds of mistakes, but like there was some kind of fireball. So forget the people who are big time Souls fans probably will listen to this and know exactly who I'm talking about. But there's a fire boss, right?
I know what you're talking about. They bust through the bars, right?
It was like in a mine or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't think of his name.
First time fighting him, and I had an interesting, like unorthodox build going. I had a wand in one hand. It's going to piss a lot of Souls fans off. I was using a wand, and then I had a sword in the other hand. And so I'm dual wielding these two weapons and fighting the boss, and I was doing pretty good. But like I got cocky, because I was doing good, and he wasn't hitting me, and I had him almost down. And I kind of felt like, you know how like you chase, you shouldn't chase. But I was like, nah, I think I got him. You know, if he hits me, I can take a little bit of damage because he almost did. And I was like, the chat was all like, oh, wow, SloMo is killing this. Wow, you're like a Souls savant or something. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I am. You know, I was really feeling myself. I should have not have done that because I ended up dying right at the end. But the memorable part, the part that was so memorable was that I ended up killing the boss at the same time. And so I had no idea if like the item that he dropped was still going to be there or not. And like, I was freaking out. I was like, cause like, I'm like, it's my first time playing Souls games. I don't know what that means if I kill a boss and we both die at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God. And everyone in the chat's like, oh, what? And then I come back, you know, and at a grace, and then I go back to the spot. You know, I travel back to the spot, and then like my souls are there, and the boss souls is there, and the items, and I'm just like, oh, the relief that I didn't have to fight him again. It just washed over me. So that was so memorable. I won't forget that. Like, and it wasn't like the super difficult fight. It was just, you know, me being me and not taking it seriously until it was too late. But getting lucky because the game allowed me to be able to push on without having to fight him again, even though I probably should have took the L and had to fight him again. So that was cool. Ramon, what is yours? My bad. Go ahead. What you say?
No, I said that's what's up.
Yeah.
I would have to say there's a boss named Maluka in First Berserker Kazan, and this dude has two different fighting styles, and he has two phases that both use variations of those two fighting styles. So when he goes to the single sword fighting style, he's faster. And so there's this move he does where he puts some distance between you, and then he slides his sword into the scabbard, and just as it clicks to the hilt in his scabbard, he's coming at you. Like, and it's instantaneous. And like, I remember Kazan has this brink dodge, and he doesn't. One of the things I love about First Berserker Kazan is that he doesn't roll. I can't stand roll dodging. I can't stand it. He just, like, you know, sidesteps or like will, you know, dart. But if you dodge it at just the right moment, it's a brink dodge, and you feel like a badass when you pull it off. But there's also parries, and there's also reflect, which is a variation of the parry. It's harder to pull off. And then there's your standard block. So when his sword clicks and he comes at you and you block it just right, it stuns him, and then you wail on him. He's one of the fastest. He's like one of the biggest skill checks in that game. Like, he's tough. And I just remember what it felt like beating a boss that has two different fighting styles and two phases that use two different variations of those two fighting styles. Like, it was just crazy the amount of variety the bosses throw at you in that game. But I'll never forget first time I beat that dude Maluka. Like, I literally put the controller down and just stood up, my fists in the air.
Fists in the air.
Yeah, I have done that before. Let's get into this last rapid fire before we get into talking about the main topic of tonight. Last rapid fire is about Remedy, who has appointed a new CEO. His name is Jean-Charles. Oh God, you know, Ramon about to get on me. Godechon. I think I said that. Like my pronunciation of his last name. Forgive me, probably ain't correct. I think he is French. Yeah, he's definitely French, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, can you spell it out? But no, if he's French, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm going to pretend like I said that accurately. So, but he previously worked at EA. Now is the CEO of Remedy. considering that now it's no guarantee of how he would run Remedy now that he's in charge, just simply because he worked at EA. But I don't think we can completely discount that. Remedy is a company that is very, I would say, very unique in how they approach game development, and they do not chase trends. You'll see them do different things with their games, and we're going to talk about one such game later on tonight. But their way of game development isn't typical of what you see in the industry, and it hasn't netted them like massive profits, despite the fact that their games is generally considered to be of good quality. And so, do we think there is going to be a shift in how they do that going forward with Jean-Charles in charge? Ramon, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's what is likely to happen, and there's what I hope happens. What's likely to happen is there will be a change, and they'll not produce game. They'll either not produce the type of games that they do now, or there will be more mainstream elements to those games. That's probably what might be a little more likely. What I hope is that he finds a way to get them more mass market appeal while they still continue to make the unique games that they're known for. I don't know a great deal about him, so I don't know how much of EA's successes or not successes that he may have influenced. I just hope that, maybe, he can get in and find a way to get these people the success that they deserve without having to compromise their style of games.
The creativity. Yeah, I feel you on that.
It would be a shame if, they have to compromise that. But, at the same time, if they did do that and they started getting more successful, I would be happy for them, because there's nothing like being able to pay your bills. But what it would make me angry, it wouldn't make me angry at them, it would make me angry at the gaming community. Because everybody always talks about they want something different. I want new and different. I want new IPs. I want new experiences. Stop playing it safe. And we hear that a lot. All these AAA companies, they always play it safe and new and fresh, blah blah blah. But then when they do stuff like that, struggle to make 1 million sales, 800,000 sales. Returnal comes out. I'm not sure if it hit 1 million or not, but you know what I mean? So it's they do these things.
I think it did eventually. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it should have made 8 times that much, but I digress. I bought that game twice. I bought it on PS5 day one, and I bought it on PC later on. So I supported the hell out of that game. It's one of my favorite games, and it didn't do nearly as well as it should have. But again, so all that to say, I hope he'll find a way to balance that.
Forte, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I agree 100% with Ramon. I just think in general, balance is always the key. But when it's just with the way that everything is now, it just seems like it's like this never-ending circle of trying to become even with everything that you're doing. And we always see people trying to go above and beyond in everything that they're trying to do. Whereas I feel like that's like a detriment to a point. It's like you just need to just kind of just, stick to the status quo, but sticking to the status quo may not get you where you need to go. So I just think in general, it just needs to, I don't want to say come back to reality, because I don't think it's like something that's not in touch with, but it just seems like in general, everybody's chasing something. Like games are chasing other games. People are chasing other people and the things that they made. And I think it's just that ever ending circle that just keeps going round and round, and then you just lose people within that. It seems like every year, every month, every quarter, the latest being, with High Guard and everything was going on with that game and stuff. So, just because you release a game doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And just because you had a successful game doesn't mean it's going to be successful in 3 months. It starts at the beginning.
True.
So I just think balance, like Ramon just said, is the biggest thing. And, you kind of got to look at this as a moving target at this point now when it comes to like just development and everything that you're putting into it. So I agree with Ramon on everything he said.
All right, so I'm gonna be super cynical here. I feel like this is gonna be a seismic shift in how Remedy not only operates financially, in management, but also in development as well. I think they already kind of started along this path with FBC Firebreak, which was a colossal failure. They've been trying to branch out into different kinds of things, but not being very successful outside of what people expect from them, which is story-driven, narrative-driven action-adventure games. Whether they be in horror, leaning a little bit more towards horror, or a little bit more towards action-adventure, or science fiction. It always seems to be their bag with Sam Lake, kind of crafting the story. I think that all of that is well and good, but when Alan Wake 2 gets all these accolades, it's such a beautiful game. Their game engine that they developed, Northlight, gets all these accolades, and it allows them to have these AA games looking like AAA games, without a AAA budget. All that's well and good to stay above the red line, to stay above water, but you don't hire someone to be a CEO to stay above water. You hire them to replace a guy who didn't do that because you want more profits. You want to make more money. And some of the things that they've been doing, like some of the changes, although I'm all for it when it comes to Control Resonant, but the difference between what we see in combat with Control Resonant and what we saw with the first Control game, it's visually looks the same, it's the same aesthetic, but combat wise, we saw, at State of Play, we'll talk about it later on, but we saw with the State of Play, the combat looks very different than what you got from Control. And I think that shift, although they want the game to feel different, because Dylan, what is this guy's name? Dylan. Okay, there's his sister is the main character in the first game, and then the main character in the second game is Dylan. He's a different person, so he's got a different kind of whatever you want to call it, his style of combat. But I think it has less to do with him being a different person and more to do with what may appeal to gamers, what may be more interesting for gamers to play. And they showed a lot there, but I think when it comes to these things, that their new CEO is about making money. And so if people think that their failure at FC Firebreak and their failure with Crossfire is going to end them doing those kind of things, I think again. I think they're going to continue to do more of that, and I hope Control Resonance is fire, and I hope it sells. It's the best sold Remedy game ever, because if it is, then they'll continue making more games like that. But if it isn't, what's going down. So yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to say on that before we get into this main topic?
Let's do it.
All right, so PlayStation did a State of Play today for a State of Play for February, and this might have been the longest State of Play ever. It was like roughly 70 to 75 minutes. It was, again, like, if for those who don't understand what that means, that's well over an hour. Most of them are like 30 minutes at the most. And it could have been a showcase. They could have called it a showcase, but as we have seen now for years, I think we are far beyond showcases. I don't think Sony plans on ever doing really a showcase ever again, unless when they're dropping the new console, PS6. They're not doing showcases. You're just getting state of plays the way you get a Nintendo Direct. So that's it. They showed a ton of games. A lot of it is what we've seen before already, but they also showed 10 brand new games that hadn't been seen before. One is called Brigadine Abyss. There was Castlevania Belmont's Curse, Crimson Moon, God of War Sons of Sparta, which was a shadow drop on PlayStation 5, God of War Trilogy Remake, John Wick, Kana, Scar of Cosmora, which is on the Jumbotron right now, Project Windless, Rev Noir, and Yako Shinobi Ops. I think I said that wrong, but regardless, a lot of good, great games shown. Forte, let us know what games impressed you the most.
Well, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I watched like probably 40 minutes of it because I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the John Wick. That looks really cool. I was like, man, this is I love John Wick, so I'm kind of biased to that. Ghost of Yotai having this Legend DLC be announced. I think that was really cool because the Legend DLC for Tsushima was really, really good. So I think that was another really, really good one. Sora.
I look forward to carrying Brap in this new Legends the way I had to carry him in the previous one.
Yeah.
Good.
Sora's always impresses. This is a game that I will be picking up day one when it comes out on PS5. It might actually convince me to get a PS5 Pro. I don't know. It depends on what that price is at that point. My daughter she actually texted me she was like, I need to borrow your PlayStation when Kenna comes out, because she played the original, the first one, and she saw the trailer for this one, and she was like, oh man. And I didn't
know it's on PC though.
Yeah, I know it's on PC, but I'm trying to get my PC back.
Oh, got you. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense then.
I'm trying to get my PC back. So yeah. So we're not doing that. But those were the ones I was really, 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 really cool. I was already going to be doing Resident Evil Requiem. The God of War game, you already know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm even knowing it's a completely different style, different type of everything. I'm super into that storyline and stuff, so I'm definitely gonna be into that. But let me tell you, man, the marathon thing happened, and I was like, oh my god, I'm actually interested. I can't believe it.
Let's discuss that. Let's discuss that for a moment.
Let's discuss this.
I'm gonna remind you of some things, okay?
I know you are. Yes, please do. I am here to be reminded.
You and our good friend Lord Cognito fall for this trap every single time. For years.
Shout out to Cognito.
Bungie has to be interweaving digital visual crack into their trailers for this to happen every single time. But they must be the very best at making and crafting a game trailer, because every time they show off a game trailer for something new they're doing, you guys forget everything that you once said.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
You're all in every single time.
I'm in.
That game has not changed one lick.
It looks like it has, though.
2 weeks ago. No,
it does.
90% of what they showed in that trailer,
it looks cool,
was just cutscenes and stylized look and the little combat without the hood. I tell you, there's a guy that works there. I don't know who his name is. I'm gonna call him Eddie. Okay, I don't know who his real name is. There's a guy named Eddie at Bungie. And this dude is a master at making a trailer. They're going to lay off everyone in the world,
but the trailer,
and they're going to keep Eddie, because Eddie going to keep bringing that money in. Because you have been consistent for the past 2 months saying that game is trash. It's going to bomb at launch, and now you saw a fire trailer, and now all of a sudden, well, I think I might give it a shot.
I might.
Forte.
I might. I'm not saying I 100% will, but I might. I'm closer to Mike than I was in the last.
In his defense, in his incognito's defense, though, the footage that they showed before today did look like some massive improvements to the game.
Massive improvements.
Like, dude, I have zero interest in the game, but
Eddie is a master. Like, how does he do it? I looked at that. I'm like, yo, that's not gameplay. That's not gameplay. Okay, that's a cutscene. Don't matter. That's not gameplay. Oh, okay, here's some gameplay. And I'm like, this is no different. Like, I'm not saying the game's going to fail. I'm not saying I've been consistent in this, that like we got to see it launch. The arc rate, the success of Arc Raiders, I think, helps Marathon because it has kind of like allowed a lot of people that they may be relying on to enjoy the game to be a bit more open with potentially playing an extraction shooter on consoles, which is typically not really prior to Arc Raiders where you expect to really play a lot of people to play those kind of games. But I think they have a chance. And I also think, I said before, that I think if their PvP is better than Arc Raiders, then they definitely have a shot of the game being successful. But
I know, SloMo.
Come on, man! I'm not going to ignore all the feedback from people who played the game that said this ain't it. And we'll see, and we'll all see with the open preview at the end of this month. Yeah,
February 26th.
February 26th. Yeah, we'll all see.
Yeah,
go ahead and continue.
No. I do not disagree on that. And like I said, I am speaking more because I am a fanboy. I love Bungie and I love their games, and I still am very skeptical of this game doing what it needs to do long term to basically, move them forward in the direction they need to in profitability. Now, I still think of Bungie as a independent, even though they are owned by Sony. I just don't know if Bungie can maintain this game without the help of PlayStation really, really kicking in, because I don't think the player base is going to be there long term. I have to see that to believe it. But I will say this. There was over 100,000 people that played High Guard. Freaking High Guard. A lot of people played that game.
Free download instead of $40 though.
Yeah, it is a free download. It was a free download. And I seen a lot of people play that game. And I don't think, the one thing I'll say about Marathon, at least it has an identity. It might have been stolen in different ways, but we'll just push that off to the side. The person in question said that they were compensated very well. Still doesn't change the fact that Bungie did what they did, but water under the bridge now. They can move forward and do what they want to do and not feel bad about it. But ultimately, this game is going to live and die by the player base. Like, if the player base is there to support it, and if they have, if they can steal a tenth of what Arc Raiders has and convert people over to Marathon, I think the biggest thing that they have going for them is their name, Bungie. That's the biggest thing they have going for them. And if they could keep people engaged in the game, and the one thing about Bungie is we know they know how to keep people engaged, especially when it's a brand new game. So I'm not really worried about the roadmap per se for like the first year, because I guarantee they have. I don't know for sure, but I know I would just guess they have a roadmap for at least the first year. It's going to be what's going to happen with this game after that. It's going to be the biggest thing. Is the development going to still be there from PlayStation if the game is kind of waddling and like engagement and stuff, which is one of the biggest indicators of a live service game. But that's kind of where I am with that one. But in general, I can't lie. I am interested. I will be, and as soon as they said it was the server slam, I was like, oh, bro, I'm there. I didn't play the beta last time. I was so pissed at the game, I didn't even want to try it. So I didn't even try to get a code last time. So I've never played Marathon. So I am going to try this, and that will for them to say this, I mean, I'm glad they call it the server slam, because if they would have called this a beta, I'm like, you're lying, because this is the game we're gonna be playing in a week.
Yeah, the game coming out in a few weeks.
Right, the game comes out March 5th. Yeah, this ain't no beta. This is the game. This is the game. So, and then they said whatever you do, most of the stuff. I don't know if they said 100% everything you get unlocking the game goes over, but I did hear them say a majority of the stuff that you unlock now will transfer over to the full game on March 5th. And let's be, and this is one thing. PlayStation's petty. I will say this. Microsoft can go on stage and tell you that all their games are going to PlayStation, put PlayStation logos and everything up on the screen. PlayStation, when Bungie said coming to PlayStation 5 and other platforms, I was like, bro, we all know this is coming to Xbox, but they can't even say the word Xbox. When the screen came up at the end saying PS5 and PC, there was no Xbox up there. But Xbox,
it's called competition. It's called competition.
It ain't no competition. Xbox had already waved the white flag.
Okay, as far as Sony is concerned, they still the ops. And so until you stop making an Xbox, they're gonna be on that kind of energy. They're gonna be on that kind of time. Exactly. You can put your games on that platform. You can put our logo, at the end of your trailers for your games. At the end of our trailer, PS5, and at the most, and PC. Because they recognize PC is a different market, so therefore you can go ahead and market your stuff there. Why not? But when it comes to Xbox, a what? A who? A what box?
Where?
We don't know what that is. And even though they got their games on there, they got multiple MLB The Shows over there. They got Helldivers 2 over there. As far as they're concerned, that's just some other machine. That's other console. Nintendo does the same thing. We had with Nintendo Direct 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They got games that are going to be, half the games I saw at that Direct are going to be on Steam at launch. Did they mention that? Nope. Because they want you to buy it on their Switch too. When you care about your hardware, that's how you act. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Ramon, what were your thoughts on that? I know you wanted to jump in here to talk about this, so please, the floor is yours, sir. How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't have a dog in this fight really, because I'm not really a multiplayer.
No, not Marathon. I mean the whole state of play. Yeah.
Yeah. We know you don't care about nothing but Returnal. We understand that.
Yeah, well, I actually gave it a chance. Anyway,
I did too. Just not at $70.
You gave it a chance later. You judged it before you played it. You said it wasn't worth.
No. I said I stood on business saying I felt like it wasn't worth $70. I still don't think that game's worth $70, but I bought it at $35.
And I bought it at $100 Canadian, and then bought it at $50 Canadian when it went to PC.
Hey, guess what?
Anyway.
I also bought it on PC, and I paid full price on PC when it came out on PC, which was still $10 less than it was on PS5. So I still paid for the game. So I don't want to hear that. Once I played it, and I was like, okay, I just stood on business day one. That was it. I didn't say the game was bad. I never hated on the game. I just didn't want to pay $70 on the game.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, continue.
You the one brought up Returnal. See, we got into this argument, and you the one brought that game up.
Yeah, I know.
I had to step away for a moment. Now that I'm back, let me bring the additional context that Forte's missing. I specifically remember this man saying that game ain't worth $70 loudly. It ain't worth $70.
I just said it's not worth $70. I said to me that
you
game's
didn't
not
get
worth.
that game. You didn't get that game for ego, because you didn't want to spend $70 on it, and you said, I already said I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to buy it.
And I didn't until it was $35.99. And then I bought it.
Anyway. All right. Ramon, go ahead and continue, sir.
Man, yeah, the last PlayStation show that I was super hyped about was the one after the one after a PS5 launched, which was
the one
also
where they were moving cheers around and moving people around from. Was that the last E3 or the E3 before that?
No, it wasn't E3. It was a PlayStation showcase. It was the one where they revealed. It was the one where they revealed all those really good games like
yeah, I know
Spider-Man 2 and Forbidden West. I think like all those, right?
Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago, I think. This show, I think I was more hyped than that one. Like to me, this show felt like PlayStation kind of working on righting the ship now that Electric Slide Ryan is out.
Electric Slide Ryan.
Like
I don't think he can do Electric Slide. He might break his hip or something.
When it comes to making statements, I ain't gonna get in that. But no, the thing that I loved so much about this, the thing I loved so much about this show was we got a bunch of new stuff, but we saw that they're actually, paying attention, and we are getting some old stuff brought back. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you that I did. I nearly screamed when I saw Legacy of Kain Defiance remastered.
Oh my gosh! I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, I know this man is excited for seeing this,
dude. When I saw that, I was like, me and Eric Jackson. Shout out to E. We were texting back and forth. It was just like, yeah, like dude. I was all over the place when I saw that. And what they didn't show was after show, they showed that there's a pixel art side scroller Legacy of Kain game coming out. That's a brand new game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they didn't show that at the showcase. So for me, that show was like that. I don't know if I've ever I think I've maybe given one PlayStation show a 10, but this one was a 10 for me. There was so much stuff. Even the stuff that I wasn't interested in was still high quality. Like that, the multiplayer game, that 4 something or other. Like, I'm not gonna play it, but it looks really good.
4 Loop.
Yeah, 4 Loop looks really good.
I wasn't really feeling it, but hey, look, to each their own. But I don't want to take up your time. Go ahead and finish, man.
Oh yeah, no. But yeah, I thought that looked fun, but it's just, it's not my kind of game. I'm not really into it. But I mean, I ain't gonna take up too much time because we're gonna get into the games. But yeah, I found myself more often than not just like blown away, especially opening with Kana. So yeah, I'm thoroughly satisfied with this show.
I'm happy for you.
Cool. For me, let me say this real quick. I feel like 2026, when it comes to showcases or events, have really nailed it. Like, for all 3 of the major platforms, like I thought the Xbox Dev Direct was well done. I think I gave it like an 8. I thought that the Nintendo Direct, although a lot of people were disappointed with that Nintendo Direct they had recently, I thought it was good. I gave that one an 8 as well. This one I think is probably the best state of play that they've had in years. Not just because it's long pause, but like the content that was there. I thought it really set out and executed on what it was trying to do. The games that I liked the most were Sorrows, of course, the spiritual successor to Returnal. That looked dope. That's a day one for me. Yep. I like the changes that they're making to the game. It gives me more vibes of like Hades and as a roguelike than what the previous Returnal was, which I if they can nail that balance, I'm all there for it. What's on the screen right now, Control Resonance, like I'm I love it. And when I say I love it, I mean I love it when developers show their game uninterrupted. Forget the fancy cuts. Cut every 2-3 seconds to me. That tells me you're hiding something. When you just play, hey, here's the game. It's just some dude playing it. And it's like a good 2-3 minutes of uninterrupted gameplay, and then they cut to another 2-3 minutes of uninterrupted gameplay. That tells me you got confidence in what you got. It tells me that you believe that your game is going to be fire, and that kind of confidence shows in how you present your game. I like the combat, the way the combat looks. I like the whole shift thing. It's very it reminds me actually, Ramon, of Brandon Sanderson's work. Well, actually, yes, Gravity Rush with as far as a video game, but in the way that it was being deployed in the trailer, the gameplay trailer, it reminded me of Brandon Sanderson's work in fiction with his what do they call
Surge
it?
binding. Surge binding.
Thank you. Surge binding and the Stormlight Archives, which a lot of people will know a lot more about in the future when that stuff starts to come to different media. But I thought that was great. Kana 2, or the sequel to Kana, looks fantastic. It looks visually, it's difficult to make a prettier game than what the original one was, but they did it. So it looks beautiful. It looks better than the previous game. The combat looks better, it was coming to the PS5 and PC, which is all I care about.
But I mean, it's not on PS4 though. The original was on PS4.
True, which is also, I think, that got some people thinking that the game was open world when it's probably really just more open zone, because like the previous game was open zone. But when you look at like what they showed in the trailer, it looked more expansive, which makes more sense now that your baseline of what you can do in level design is higher now. You don't have to worry about, mechanical hard drives and trash CPUs that were outdated back in 2013. You don't even have to worry about that. You can just, work. Zen 2 is the baseline that you're working with, and then you move on up from there. So I thought it looked fantastic. I think Ember Lab, I love to see brothers out here, with their own studio doing their thing. So I'm a fan of their work, period. So I'm glad that's coming this year. I didn't expect to see their next game. I wouldn't say this early because it's been a few years since Kana came out, the first one. But it kind of was just out of my mind, and I didn't think about it. But now that it's coming this year, I can't wait. That's definitely a cop day one. There was another one. There was two more of games that were brand new I had never seen before. Brigadine Abyss looks like a tactical RPG with some anime cutscenes and here and there. I mean, that's not quite Fire Emblem, but it looked pretty interesting. I got my eye on that one. That's something I'm looking out for. And the other one was Rev Noir, which when they showed the main character, his name's Ash, I immediately thought about the main character, one of the dual main characters from Scarlet Nexus, the dude. They looked almost exactly the same. I was like, what is, I first thought, I was like, is this a Scarlet Nexus sequel? Which I definitely would play that, but it wasn't, which is fine. But from what they showed, that looked pretty interesting. I'm going to definitely play that. It was a good show, man. It was a good show. Like, even though it may have had some stuff that we've seen before already, but a lot of showcases show a lot of games we've seen before. Like the Nintendo Direct had a bunch of games that have already even released, but they just hadn't released on the Nintendo platform yet, and they're still getting caught up now that they got hardware that can actually decently handle that stuff. And so, that was the case. Beast of Reincarnation is on the Jumbotron now. That was at the Xbox Developer Direct like 2-3 weeks ago. So it's just, like a lot of repeating of games, but I get it. There's marketing deals. You can't just not show it because people are tired of seeing it. If they keep paying you to show it at one of your showcases, you're going to keep showing it. It's just,
That's true.
the way this stuff works. So I haven't bought Ghost of Yote yet, but now that Legends is coming out, I think it's about time I jumped in. I wanted to just wait until I got some stuff out of the way. And then once I did, I still didn't pick it up. I just didn't kind of feel, I guess I wasn't really feeling the game as much as I thought I would. But now that things are a little bit freer, even though there's a lot of fire games coming up on the horizon, I think I'm finally going to jump in. I did want to acknowledge that they did have a strong first party presence going on as well. And so when you see God of War remake and they bring out Carson out, the original voice of Kratos, and
I love that. I love that so much.
I would say the better voice. I don't think Christopher Judge did a bad job, but I'm sorry, Carson's better. He's better at it. The announcement of a God of War remake for the trilogy, I hope it's something that really, really not like completely changes the gameplay, but modernizes, at least visually, the games from the past. So like a full-on remake, I think that when you say that and you don't show anything, you need to make sure you actually deliver on expectations, because if it's just a remaster, if it's just a glow up visually, but no change in level design, no change in anything else, or any kind of like modernizing of systems or anything like that, then I think some people are going to be pretty disappointed overall. But we'll have to see. But the announcement of that is pretty dope. And then the shadow drop of the what's it, Sons of, what is it called?
Sparta, Sons of Sparta.
Sons of Sparta. Like, and look, that's a 2D side scroller. I know a lot of people are like, oh, God of War, huh? But I mean, look, it's a smaller game. It's a smaller game. It's a smaller game that got shadow drop that's only $30. Like, you can't really complain about having new content. I'm not gonna play it, but it's going to resonate with some people. I don't think it's going to be like a big seller or anything, but it's exclusive to PS5, so it's bringing more value to the platform than what you had a day before, right? So all in all, a good show, in my opinion. I think I give it like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. Real quick before we finish up, and I'll start with Ramon on this. Did you have any expectations of the Marvel's Wolverine game being there? And since it wasn't, when do you think they'll show that? Since it's supposed to come out this year.
The only reason I wasn't expecting Wolverine is because it's coming out at the end of the year. So my guess is if they do a late spring state of play, I would expect to see it there. If they don't do a late spring state of play, or it's not at a late spring state of play, I will expect it to have a dedicated state of play, like sometime in the summer, like once, and like in that will nail down the release date. But yeah, I thought there was probably maybe a 30% chance that it would be there, but considering how far away it still is, I wasn't really expecting it. But yeah, the most I can say is I would think they might show some gameplay at the next state of play, and then it'll get its own dedicated state of play after that, where they have a release date. But I definitely think it's going to get its own dedicated though.
All right. Before Forte answers this question, I want to kind of discuss Project Windless real quick, which kind of surprised a lot of people with like the way the combat looked, the visuals and whatnot. I like to call it Roostos, like because that dude, that chicken, the way he was fighting. The rooster. I was just like, I'm calling him not Kratos, Roostos. That's Roostos right there. Like, and I've heard other terms, a cock of war. I think that says a lot. I don't know how I feel about the way that sounds to people, but I'm just going to go with Roostos. I think he looks dope, and the way he's fighting, like it looked like some vibes of like Dynasty Warriors, where he's just fighting so many enemies all at once. Like I hope they can deliver on that kind of like visual with so many enemies on screen. But what were you guys' thoughts on that one? Real quick.
Yeah, I'll say this. I normally am not into Muso games at all. I want if they manage to do what they're showing us, I'm gonna buy this. And anybody who's ever spent a small amount of time around a rooster will find something like this believable. Because roosters, they may be chickens, but they are savage. You don't want to mess with a rooster. So I think it's I think it's a really cool concept, and I think that for this type of game, I think they're onto something here. I mean, not only are you fighting waves of enemies, but then there's bosses in the enemies. And like I said, I haven't played a Muso game in a long time, not since what do you call it? The based off the Three Kingdoms, Dynasty Warriors. Like I only played Dynasty Warriors 2, I believe, which was fun for a while, and then after a while it just got boring, and I never played another one after that. It's just not my jam.
Yeah,
but this right here,
the gameplay loop is the same. You know, it's like it's the kind of acquired taste. I remember back in the day when I was a young kid and Blockbuster was still a thing. Going to Blockbuster and renting Dynasty Warriors like 3, 4, 5, and it's just
they're all the same game.
They're all the same game, but like I think some of that like fighting massive armies and slaughtering like a dozen enemies with one swipe of the sword kind of thing just looks like, you know where they got that from. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. If they manage to put enough variance in it and deliver a serviceable story, then they may have me on board, because I definitely liked what I saw. It looked fun, and I love the idea of the rooster, a humanoid rooster. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm interested in seeing what more on that.
Cool. Forte, what are your thoughts on Roostos? And what's also what are your thoughts on Wolverine not being there?
All right. Well, first, Wolverine, never thought it was going to be there because it was going to have its own state of play. It's going to show up there. The earlier they have that state of play, the more you'll see it in showcases, or not. They don't have showcases anymore, but they'll have in other events leading up to it. Yeah, other state of plays leading up to it, pretty much like they did with all their other games and stuff. But I don't expect the next time you see this game, it's gonna be at its own particular or specific state of play. Roosters aren't to be messed with, man. And they prove that in every movie you watch where a rooster has like a punchline in it, and you see roosters walking in and thing. It's just like, dude, that rooster look at you, and the female roosters be the ones, man. They be like, nah, man, go come close.
There's no such thing as a female rooster.
I'm about to say that. What are you talking about, man?
I know there is no such thing as a female rooster, but that attitude you be getting feels like it's the attitude that I get from my wife every once in a while when I do something I'm not supposed to do, and I always say, stop acting like a rooster. You always mad at me about something, but no, seriously. It's cool, and not for me, but I think just that overall detail is going to be something that's going to kind of lend itself to some people, pretty much like how Stray did when it came to the Stray game. Actually, speaking of Stray, I had a customer walk into the store today, they bought a Switch 2, and they said, what do you think of that Stray game? And I was like, oh, about the cat? I said, I never played it. I'll never play it. I said, I can't have cats in my house because my wife will get sick and she might pass away. So I can't have a cat. But I've never had a person trade that game in, and everybody that played it liked it. So she proceeded to buy Stray, and I said, let me know what you think of it when you come back with it. But So I think it's going to be something that's going to lend itself to some people out there, pretty much like how Ghost Simulator did, and Ghost Simulator is super fun. You know, you can make ghosts do crazy things in that game. I gotta talk to y'all after this show about something too. But no, that's what I think.
Is it about female roosters?
No, it's about goats.
About goats.
It's about goats. Oh, I'll just say it here. Say it here now. It ain't like crazy. So my wife was talking to me the other day, and I guess she went down the rabbit hole of support animals, and she wants a goat, a support animal goat. She wants a goat.
What?
This is the thing, SloMo. This is the thing. It's an
People
emotion.
just buying goats.
Listen, SloMo. I thought she was punking me, bro. I was like, "What do you mean, a goat?" She was like, "Yes, I want a emotional support animal. I want an emotional support goat." I was like, "What are you?" I said, "First of all, where's this goat going to be?" She said, "Well." I said, "Where's this go? It's cold here in Michigan. So where's it going to?" She's like, "Oh, when it's the wintertime, it'll be in the basement." I said, "BS." And then,
so while we're doing the podcast, I'm just gonna be randomly hearing
right, man. So I said no.
Oh,
and then I said, "What about in the summer?" She was like, "Oh, it'll be outside." She said, "We don't even have to pay for long." She talked about She said, "Oh, they'll be outside grazing." I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "We don't have to pay for grass. We don't have to get our ass cut no more because they'll take care of the grass." I said, "They'll take care of the grass." She said, "Oh yeah, they." I said, "They." She was like, "Yeah, Cletus and Kyle is their names going to be Cletus and Kyle." I was like, "Cletus and Kyle? Wait a minute, hold on." I said, "Listen." When she gave the emotional support ghost names, I was like, "This is some BS." So I had to go to. I went to ChatGPT and was like, emotional support goat. And Lord have mercy, my eyes were open. It showed me YouTube videos of people with their emotional support goat, walking them, playing with them in the house. And I was like, and I saw African Americans with them. I was like, yo, this is crazy. No, okay, SloMo. SloMo, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, SloMo. I don't know what to do.
Because you know this is going to happen to you.
Yes, please.
She's going to get these goats.
And
she's going to be like, "Hey, can you go walk the goats?"
No, I told her. Nope.
You say that now.
No, I'm saying that now.
You're going to be walking around your neighborhood.
Nope.
With these two goats following you.
Cletus and Kyle.
I just want you the picture of what that looks like.
I just pictured it, and it ain't no good. I told her, I was like, "Tisha, I am not walking your goats." She is so serious about this, bro. I was like, "Dog, there is literally people out here with goats as emotional support animals." And I didn't know this was a thing. I mean, I know about an emotional support dog or a cat, things like that. I never heard of a goat. Heard of a goat.
So she said, you ain't got to cut your grass no more because these goats going to eat the grass to keep it low.
To keep it low.
Okay, so what happens when they start pooping all over the yard?
That's what I said. I was like, we already got a dog. He ain't going to like this. It's SloMo. I don't know, man.
I need to see how this turns out because this is beyond me. This is crazy.
I'm gonna invite. Listen. I'm gonna invite my wife on here for an emotional therapy session about goats for about 5 minutes, probably during the next podcast before she has to leave to do something, so she can explain herself. And I'm gonna let her hear this part of the podcast because I want her to know that I'm very concerned that we will have another 4-legged creature walking around our house that's supposed to live on a farm.
People eat goat, right? So what if you just wake up one morning and all you find is like a I'm just picturing it now, like a goat chain with Cletus. And it's in blood, and it's just laying on the grass.
Are we talking about
someone snack?
Are we talking about Jurassic Park where the T-Rex ate the goat?
No, I'm talking about human beings going. Is that a goat?
So if somebody does that, Forte, man, I will come out there and help you hunt them down.
Oh yeah, listen. If somebody takes my wife's emotional support animal, we are hunting them down. I was like, I tried to tell her. I said I thought I was your emotional support. She is like, no, I need a goat, and named them Cletus and Kyle.
Cletus.
Cletus and Kyle.
Cletus
Wow.
and Kyle.
Cletus and Kyle. That's their names.
All right, so Forte, what's your score on this state of play?
I will give it a 8.9 out of 10. I think it was really good. I think
Wait a minute, 8.9?
8.9.
What?
Because the only reason I didn't give it a 9,
Just give it a 9.
I can't give it a 9. That because they disrespected every Metal Gear Solid fan out there with that crap they show.
Okay.
That's the only reason I can't, bro. It wasn't there was anything wrong with Metal Gear Solid, but and part of me, okay, if I was to give them a 9, I'll say this, I'll give them a 9. I'll give them a 9 on this because I can't blame.
Hold on. Hey, Forte, look at real and Nate's comment in the chat.
Oh no!
Curry Goat is on the menu at a lot of Jamaican restaurants. I'm telling you, one day you gonna wake up, them goats gonna be gone.
Man,
And I want you to go to your local Jamaican restaurant because they're gonna have a special item on the menu.
Man,
all right, my bad.
No. I said I said I'll give it a 9. I will give it a 9. The only reason I was going to say 8.9 is because they set up an expectation that we thought Metal Gear was going to be more than what it was, and it wasn't. I can't knock them for the expectation that other people had for something that they were hoping to see that it wasn't that. But that was some bold stuff that they did. I was like, what is this? This is completely not what I thought it was going to be. But outside of that, yeah, 9 out of 10, great show. By far the best state of play they have done since the PS5 has been out, honestly. Like, they probably had bigger games and stuff at state of plays, but I think the whole entire package in itself was very well managed. And I agree with you, SloMo. They could have called this a showcase and, actually passed it on, because it was hour and a half, which is by far the longest one they have had since they've been doing.
I don't think it was that much. This is probably like hour.
Well, hour and 20. It was
15,
hour and 20
yeah.
minutes. I mean, it's still close enough. 90 minutes is an hour and a half, SloMo. They were only 15 minutes shy of it.
True. So, but no, yeah, like it could have been, if they would have called it the showcase, no one would have batted an eye considering how long it was. But pause. But like I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was very good, and I thought it wasn't just that it was good, and it had games that interested me. I think they had a very diverse lineup of games that they showed. They showed some stealth games. They showed some RPGs. They showed a lot of first party games. They showed old school games that people liked or into. They showed a fighting game. Like if whatever genre except for sports seemed to be represented, and it had a little bit of something for everyone. And I think that was well done. Let's go and get up out of here, though. Ramon, thank you for joining us yet again, sir. Where can the people find you out here in the interwebs?
Well, first, can I just want to give my score real quick.
Oh, my bad. I thought you already did that. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, no problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way over the edge. I gave it a 10.
I think you did that already, because I thought I heard that.
Did I?
You bungee jumped off the edge.
Oh, okay.
That's his score. If he thinks it's a 10, let him believe it's 10. It's fine.
There's no such thing as 10s.
We'll see. I was under the impression that the number that comes after 9 is a 10.
Okay, you got me. You got me there. But I was also under the assumption that the number that came after 10 was 11, and 11 is a number that happens on the scoring scale. So, and
yeah,
10 is
the scoring scale stops at 10.
And 10,
So that's a false equivalency.
and we give IGN crap every time they give a game a 10.
No, I don't give IG. Well, number one, I don't pay attention to IGN, so I'm not familiar with that because they.
You know
but,
what? You know what?
I've heard that IGN gives everything a 7. That's what I've heard.
Well, yeah, except for Nintendo games, they give those 10s. I'm gonna remember this, Ramon. I'm gonna be stalking. I'm gonna be stalking your Blue Skies account when these reviews come out for these games. And if something comes out of 10 and you say, I don't understand why these developers be getting all these 10s on these games that don't deserve them. If I ever see that come out of your mouth, you are coming to DPS court.
So here's the next thing. When have you ever seen me say that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, don't ever say it.
Say it right now. How you gonna tell me never say it? I'll say it right now. How come these games getting 10s don't be getting 10s? They don't deserve.
All right, but what game are what game are we equating that to?
80% of Nintendo games.
No. I need a game.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Well, that game definitely didn't deserve a 10. Did it get
It didn't deserve to be in the. Well, no, but it didn't deserve to be in the game of the year.
Yeah, I'm about to say that game didn't get a 10. So no, you gotta pick a game that got a 10. You gotta pick. He gotta pick a game. That was a fallback plan. They had to put Nintendo in there somewhere. You can't say that. What game? Mario Wonder deserved a 10, bro. That's a great game.
It was good. I played it. I finished.
You sound very reluctant when you said it was good.
You know
like,
what? I think,
like half good. Like I want to say it's good, but I also want to say I don't want to say it's good because then that makes it feel like it probably should have got a 10, but it was good.
Oh no. What you heard was a sarcasm, like an oil slick over the word, because I thought the game was good, but all the praise that it got, I just don't get it. However, what I don't say is I don't know why anybody plays all that blah 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 blah. I'm very aware that Nintendo is largely not for me. The only reason I own a Switch 2 is because one day
FOMO.
Zelda will come out. And I didn't want to get caught in a price raise. So I preempted a potential price raise and went against my better judgment and got it now because eventually Zelda will show up.
Well, guess what?
So I reckon.
Guess what? SloMo did the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Fire Emblem.
He jumped out the window because of the tariffs. He was like, "I ain't trying to pay $100 more for this system."
Yeah.
And I may be justified. The game ain't coming out according to that leaked release date until May, and that's 3 months where there's time for that price to go up, and we see how technology is nowadays. I don't regret buying it when I did at all. I did what I said I was going to do. People didn't believe me. They was like, "No, SloMo, you're gonna buy one anyway. You're gonna buy one because you got FOMO like everyone else." No, I don't. I said, you gotta show me Fire Emblem.
You made out better than I did.
Show me Fire Emblem.
You're doing better than I am because I don't even have an announcement yet. But considering how much that mug costs up here, I was like, yeah, if they raise the price, I'm never getting. Because it was after tax, it was $720 Canadian.
Ooh,
so yeah, so I sold. I had to sell quite a few things to bring that price down to something very reasonable.
Crazy. You know what? You could have sold your PlayStation knowing that PlayStation games come to PC. That would have took care of most of it.
Yeah, but the fact that there's no release date on Ghost of Yotei, right? That alone justifies the existence of my PlayStation. So I'll own a PlayStation as long as they have exclusives that take a year or longer to come out.
Oh, what happens if it goes to 6 months?
Oh, I can wait 6 months. But I don't think they're going to do 6 months because I think they're paying close attention. I think they're not happy with these PC port sales. So I would be surprised if they shrink it below a year.
I'm with you. I can hear that.
And I don't think they should. My pocketbook would like it, but I don't think they should.
I hear you on that. I agree, 100%.
But I don't want to drag you guys' show out. But yeah, I gave it a 10. I loved it. Darwin's Paradise got a release date. Kana showing up this year. I got my Greek Saga remakes. I wish the PSP and PSV would have gotten some love, but I got my PS3 for those. So I mean, I'll take what I can get. I know those games are a ways off. I'm hoping that they're being crafty and saying that they're early in development, but they're farther along than we think, and that maybe we might get a 2027 release. I know that's probably extreme wishful thinking, but I hope. In the meantime, I can replay the entire Legacy of Kain saga over again, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, I'm riding high right now. Staros is paid for and ready to go. Great show.
Nice.
Cool.
We appreciate it.
Ramon, where can people find you outside of just Blue Skies?
Pretty much Blue Skies. I technically have Instagram, but I'm almost never on it. I'm trying to get better about posting to TikTok, but that's mostly going to be book related. So if you find me on TikTok, I'm not going to be talking games because I'm trying to build a platform for my fiction writing. So and I'm just getting started on that. So if you find me on TikTok, Ramon Terrell, just know that I'm going to be talking books, like pretty much 99%. And other than that, I mean, barely on Facebook, even though I have Facebook, because all that is just extreme doom scrolling. So yeah, just Blue Sky would probably be the easiest way to catch me if you want to talk games or whatnot. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure. It's always so much fun. And have a great night.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming through, Forte. What you got planned over the next week?
Actually, probably finishing out Hollow Knight, finish out some other stuff. Finish up the graphics on my second channel, stuff like that. That's about it. But other than that, everything else is great. DPS podcast next week here. Great time. Ramon, amazing having you here as always. No matter what slander you throw my way, I still love you. Just like you love me. And
I don't think he was slandering you. I think you were slandering him. I think it's the other way around, man.
Well,
trying to gaslight people again.
Well, listen. I'm just being me, and that's all I can say. Love
you too, Forte.
I appreciate you too, man. But with that, that's it. You have a great day, and see you guys next week.
Cool. As for myself, I am working on some things content creator wise, but I don't want to give a timetable on it because I haven't. It's like idea wise, and I'm serious about doing it, but I need to get kind of like how I plan on doing it done first before I start giving any like concrete timetables on when I'll get started. But what I want to do, my biggest struggle really isn't doing the content, it's being consistent. And so I now that I kind of decided to try to get back into making videos again, what I will be making videos on and so on and so forth is still something that I'm brainstorming and testing out. So I would say just like don't even look out for it yet. Just know this on the horizon. It'll get there eventually. I did want to end the poll. I forgot about the poll. I ran a poll of would you grade the state of play. 61% of the chat gave it an A. I think that's pretty good feedback. 33% gave it a B, and 6% gave it a C. 0% people gave it a D or lower, which I think that overall says it was a pretty daggone good show. So that's good to hear. Again, as Forte said, DPS podcast next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that changes for whatever reason, we'll let you know. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night or morning, considering the time frame, the time zone you're in, and enjoy your weekend, man. Peace.
Later on.